Hello, I am here again and again and again and again to make myself miserable. I'm very scared. I don't know what it is with me and making myself suffer, but we're here again and that's what this video is gonna be. We're gonna switch things up a little bit. We're not working with paper this time. No. We're working with... We got a very cursed looking bag. You might be asking, what the heck what's in this bag? Is this bread? Is this a loaf? No. This is air dry clay. You might be wondering, what are you gonna do with some air dry clay? We're gonna make some clay pens. With that, you might be wondering, well, what's so bad about that? Clay pens are pretty cool. How are you gonna be suffering? So, to explain, sometimes for some drawing practice, a fun little thing to get me drawing is I will use a number generator and generate a random number and look up which Pokemon that is and just start drawing whatever random Pokemon number thing I get. So, for example, this is some drawing practicing that I do sometimes where I look up, I use the number generator, figure out what the heck the Pokemon is, and I'll just randomly draw it. These aren't very good, but it's fun drawing practice and it fills up a sketchbook page. And so I was thinking maybe that would be a fun video to make actual full-on colored art of some Pokemon. Maybe I'll still do that. You know, because I still think that's fun. Or maybe I'll give up on this clay thing halfway through and just switch over to that. But I thought it would be more interesting and challenging if I had that same idea with getting a random Pokemon, but turning whatever Pokemon I get into a clay pen, which is totally not a terrible idea, because if I get some complex looking character, I'm gonna want to disappear into the void. So yeah, I thought that would be fun. So let's get to it, I guess. This is such a mess. Let's pull out the good old iPad. Alright, this probably looks bad on camera. You can see the lights on my wall in the reflection. But alright, so there are currently 1,025 Pokemon. If I'm wrong, I am sorry, but that's what Google told me. So we are just gonna use this little Google thing where we're gonna randomize and get a random number and then pull it up in the Pokédex. I gotta hope that I don't get nothing cursed like this, because how in the world am I gonna turn that into a pen? I was thinking about only doing 4 pens, even though 4 is kind of pushing it. I just wanted to make it an even number, I guess. I don't know. Let's do our first random generated number, 609. Alright, we got oh, those are addresses. Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna have to, why does it do that? Sir? Okay, I'm gonna have to blur that out. Okay, 609. 609. Oh, Chandelure! Oh my god. Chandelure. I'm probably not saying that right. Oh, I love this one. Oh, that's gonna be so complicated, but that would be so cool. Okay, now I'm happy. Now I'm very happy. I'm so happy right now, but I know while trying to figure out a design for this little thing, I'm gonna be screaming, but this is a Pokemon I really like, so it's nothing like a weird abomination that would be hell to turn into a clay pen. I'm not really sure how to pronounce its name. Chandelure or Chandelure? I don't know. I'm scared. First one was good. 269. Okay. So 269. I'm gonna blur out those addresses. I don't know why Google is saving that. Oh. Okay, that's still not too bad. That's not too bad. This Pokemon is mid. I'm sorry if I offend anybody. But there's some shapes going on there that won't be too complicated to turn into a clay pen. And we got number 3. Number 3. A part of me is oh, I want a starter so bad. I want one of them to be Cyndaquil because he is my favorite starter. He is my little fire porcupine dude, and I want to make a pen of him. That would be very kind. That's definitely not his number. 4. Luxio! That's like my partner's favorite Pokemon. This is great. Well, he's gonna get a pen that is probably gonna look like an abomination. Oh, this is so good so far. I'm scared the fourth one is gonna be absolutely terrible. All right, we got one more. Please be a Cyndaquil. Please be a small boy. Those are big numbers. I don't think that's gonna be a... Okay, 678. Meowstick? Okay, these are great. These are great. Which one do I get to draw though? There's like two different... I forgot how this works. Well, that's not too bad. I actually really like the Pokemon I got. The only one that's mid is the Dustox dude. These are the ones I got. I got Chandelure, Dustox, Luxio, and Meowstick. Those are kind of complicated designs, but we'll work with it. I think this will be a lot of fun and pain to do. So with that, with the process of clay pens that I like to do, because I do make these on my shop sometimes, I do the whole cookie cutter method. And you might be wondering if you guys are interested, like what the heck is the cookie cutter method? I don't know why I'm unwrapping this. I'm not gonna work with this yet. The cookie cutter method is you make your little design either on a piece of paper or you can do it digitally, but you make your little design, and if you do it digitally you can print it out on a piece of paper. So if you do it digitally you can print out your design on a piece of paper. This is a thing that I made for my Night in the Woods clay pens, but you take it and you literally just put it onto your clay when you have it all rolled out, and then you take your little X-Acto knife or just like some sort of sharp tool and you trace around it onto the clay, and then you pop it out like a cookie, and then you can like shape it and perfect it a bit more, and then you have to let it dry. But so with that, I'm gonna have to go on to drawing some clay pen designs of these Pokemon, and then going on to the lovely thing that is sculpting and cutting out clay. So let's go on to that pen. These pens are going to be an absolute menace to do, because originally when I saw these Pokemon, I'm like, okay, with clay pens, just stick to the face. These guys can be full body, because just having a face wouldn't work. These guys can just be the faces, but somehow I'm just drawing them full body, which I don't think is a great idea, but we're just gonna run with it. I think these are pretty cute. I think I did the best that I could do with what I was given. So let's go on to making our little cookie cutters now. I'm not too sure if I'm going to try to print these out or if I'm just going to take a piece of paper and trace over my work, because my printer is being mean right now and is not wanting to cooperate for this video. So I'm probably just gonna not really record me tracing over these because I don't really think there's a point. So yeah. Okay, so I am back again after a few hours. I totally didn't procrastinate for a moment, but I got my little doodles transferred over traditionally and I turned them into some little stencils. Look at how cute these little guys are. I am very pleased with these little designs. They are very complex. I know the Chandelure I didn't finish cutting out the in-betweens here. I can't. I mean, if I push myself, I can try to, but I was really struggling, and I do not want to accidentally break the little thingies here. So I got the general shape down, so I should be good to just freehand the little swirly bits in the clay when I cut these out. These are how the stencils turned out. They were definitely a pain to cut out, but I think these worked pretty all right. I'm pretty proud of myself for what I've put together so far. So here's the fun part. Here's where I'm going to get my hands messy, and that is the clay. We've reached our destination with the clay. So I got this clay a few months ago, and it's still pretty good. It's not dried out. When you put it in like plastic wrap like this, it helps it not dry out at all. I'm no clay expert though. We're gonna get some chunks going here. Wrap this back up. I think that'll be maybe more than enough. I don't know. Right. So like I said, I am no clay expert. I'm no clay pen expert. I've only started making these a few months ago, but not too often, so I hope I remember what I'm doing. This camera is definitely gonna be shaky while I'm rolling this out, but the method that I have kind of stuck to with clay pens so far is with air dry clay, because I have used polymer clay in the past. One of the pens that I sell in my shop is made out of polymer clay. Before I made those pens, my Amari pens, I never tested out air dry clay, and air dry clay is so much easier for me to use, because with polymer clay it's definitely tougher. It's very tough, and I was shaping my previous pens like all out of hand, and it was a pain. With air dry clay, there's this cookie cutter method, which I'm doing right now, where you just take some clay and you roll it out. You don't want it to be too thick, but you don't want it to be too thin, but you just roll it out like this. And you gotta make sure you do it evenly. I'm no expert. So you kind of roll it out into a pancake. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is gonna be messy. These are gonna be messy. But yeah, you just roll it out into like a sheet like this. It's a bit more on the thick side. I don't want it too thin. So starting off, since this was our first boy that we got, we are going to start off with him. Now this is the method I like to do. The cookie cutter method. I don't know if that's the official name, but that's what I like to call it. But with the cookie cutter method, I like to use these shape tools. I got these like at Hobby Lobby for like $3. But it's these little shape tools that have like the pointed tip. You literally just put your little stencil down and you just draw over it like so. And it's gonna be messy and not pretty. That's fine. All right. Oh, that looks so cursed. Okay. Alright, so we got our basic shape. I didn't go all the way through. I just wanted to lightly go across. So like, if anyone's interested in making clay pens, you can see where it's just, you have your little outline, but you gotta go back through it. You can take an X-Acto knife or just a tool like this, and you just poke through the whole thing to start cutting it out. So once it's cut through, this might not be cut through all the way, it's trial and error. You just kind of start to spread the clay apart. I gotta be more gentle with this one because this is very complex. I don't think this Pokemon is really meant to be turned into a clay pen, but that is the part of this challenge. All right, we got our first very fragile boy. I do not want to move him. Now we gotta smooth him out. With air dry clay, we gotta smooth some of these ridges. It's gonna be very messy and look very weird, but that's fine. That's fine. I really can't lift him up. If there's any professional like clay pen people here, I'm sorry. I am learning. I don't want to pick him up because I feel like his little arms are just gonna fall apart. Oh my god, they're already Boo! Okay, it has been a day. I'm sorry if you can hear that lovely rain on the ceiling. So the clay pens are dry now because it's been a day. We got Mr. Mothman, we got Mr. Meowstick, we got Mr. Lexio. Now, okay, the chandelier looks like he got ran over. And I'm scared for whenever I try to paint him or sand him, I might not even attempt to sand him, that he's just gonna fall apart. So, off camera, I made a second one, and I think this one turned out a whole lot better. So, we're just gonna get rid of this guy. But here are the dried pens. They are looking pretty good. I think they're looking pretty cute. I am scared to sand them. I feel like some pieces might fall apart, but sanding is kind of important because it definitely helps smooth out the pens. Alright, so I guess let's go on to the sanding process. It's definitely going to be sped up because there's nothing special going on here. No. Shoot. Okay. I'm not giving up on this. I knew I should have sanded it. Alright, so I got these sanded. And you might be wondering and seeing what the heck happened to the chandelier. Why does he have a triangle? Oh my god. Where am I? Why does he have a rectangle shape? Why does he have a rectangle shape on his face? This is flipped backwards. I took a risk and I failed and messed up. I was trying to sand him very lightly. Very lightly. And his little arm snapped off. So I flipped him over and I took some glue stuff to his arm, and I'm just gonna have to let that dry and see what happens. I'm scared that it's just gonna snap off as soon as I try to paint him whenever it's dry. So Mr. Chandelier we're taking him out back, and he's gonna chill for a moment. But on to the fun part. Let's distract myself from feeling like I messed everything up. On to the fun part. We are going to start painting. Woo! Alright, I have this all painted white. So we're gonna go back and try this again. Now with clay pens, I always kind of get discouraged halfway through making them and painting them, because it's like, this looks really cursed, but you just gotta like trust the process a bit, and then it'll eventually come together. Alright, there's number 3. I think this one looks really cute. I'm so happy with these so far. Just look at these little guys. Oh my god. Look at these little guys. Aren't they so cute? This is so much fun. So while I've gotten these painted, my chandelier, I performed surgery. I don't think this is gonna stick, honestly. When I go over this with white paint and this falls off, I might just take it off and paint this the best I can, and then after it's done painted, I will paint this separately and then glue it all together. And I'm thinking when I put the resin over it, it might stick better in the end. I don't know. I'm not giving up on him, so we're gonna move on to painting our little chandelier. Alright, well, while off camera working on the in-betweens of the little arms, the other side decided to fall off, which is great. I'm just gonna have to glue that. I'm just gonna have to glue that back on. This is a mess. So don't question where the heck the arm went. It broke off. Back to this messy time lapse. Boo! Boo again. Be afraid. I am back again with one hand. My other hand got taken. Okay, no. I am back again. We are going to show my little guys. Look at these little guys. They are off center. Look at these little... one of them got injured. Look at these little guys. I am so pleased with how these turned out. These turned out so much better than I could have imagined. I'm very shocked with the clay pens. I'm pleasantly surprised with how well the acrylic markers I used worked on these little guys. They are so cute and vibrant, and it was so fun to use those little markers. I'm not done yet though. This isn't the end. We have to perform some surgery on my little chandelier, and I think I want to put resin on these guys. I'm honestly a little bit scared about the resin because I am so happy with how these look, and sometimes with resin it will make the paint like 3 times darker than it originally is. Like, it makes the paint look so much darker, and I kind of don't want that to happen, but I think they'll look so cute and shiny and shimmery if I put resin over them, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. This might be a bad idea, so I'm gonna do some close-ups of these little guys while I can before I accidentally ruin them with the resin, or maybe it will make them look great. Alright, you might be wondering, what are you working at a deli counter? Why do you have vinyl gloves on? We have reached the fun part, which is resin. So, I am no expert. I am not the greatest with resin. But to start, anyone who is interested in making clay pens and is watching this and you don't know too much, resin is no joke. You gotta be careful with resin. It is not good for you. It is not good for your skin. It is not good to breathe in. It can irritate. Like, if you get it on your skin, it can burn, irritate you, especially if you leave resin on your skin and go out into the sun. Like, that's gonna burn, and it's not very good to breathe in. So I'm being safe-ish, kind of, and I'm wearing gloves while doing this. Yes, it is annoying, but better to be safe than have a bunch of irritated marks on my hands, I guess. I'm wearing gloves. I'm wearing a mask. I don't know if I sound very muffled. I got the fans going in my room. I hope it's not too much. I have a window cracked open. So if you're using resin and you can work outside, like if you have a nice little patio, do it outside. I don't have access to that. I can only work on this in my little house. I don't have a patio that I can go to and do this outside. Plus, it is 2 in the morning. I'm already frightened that I have my window open at 2 in the morning. I feel like a skinwalker is just gonna like jump through it. So yeah, be safe with resin. Be smart with resin. I think that's all I had to say. Okay, on to the speed test. We're testing our internet out here. On to the time lapse. I need to go to bed. It's 2 in the morning. Alright, it totally hasn't been 30 minutes later, but our boys are shiny. Look at those shiny boys. I gotta be very careful with Mr. Chandelier. I think these turned out so good. Like, look at how cursed these little guys are. I haven't put the pen backs on them yet because I don't know if I want to turn these into like actual pens just yet. Also for the video, if I put the pen backs on them, they wouldn't be able to sit flat on my desk to show you guys how these turned out. But here are how they turned out. I will probably put close-ups of these little guys while I'm talking here. I'm sorry this video is a mess. It feels like a mess. It was kind of like tutorial-ish, not really at the same time, but I had so much fun with this video. I'm kind of sad that it's ending. I want to make more, so I think I'm going to turn this into a series. I think this would be fun because there's over 1,000 Pokemon, and honestly now I feel like I got really lucky with this batch. I know the Chandelure was definitely a challenge. I don't think he was meant to be made into a clay pen. Both of his arms fell off in the process, but I think he turned out pretty alright. He was definitely the most complex design in all these, but these ones I think I got really lucky with the random Pokemon I got. I feel like it could have been a whole lot worse, and I think I turned these guys into pretty cute little things. I hope you guys liked this video. Once again, I'm not good at goodbyes. This video feels like a whole mess. I'm scared of how this is going to be edited, but thank you so much for watching this all the way through if you did. I hope you guys like these little pens. Maybe one of these is one of your favorite Pokemon. If it is, you should let me know and we'll talk about how cool that Pokemon is. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed me making these little guys, and I hope I can make more little guys in the future. Okay, goodbye. This doesn't really feel like a good goodbye. Goodbye.